gentlemen, hello and welcome back to your favorite internet show, The Jersey Wall. Today we're going to be previewing the Champions League final, but first, with me today, my brethren, Mina Gali back on the show. Always a pleasure to have you.
Always a pleasure to be here.
You know, when the Champions League final rolls around, you got to pull out the big guns, and
Exactly.
so I had to bring over Mina. But speaking of big guns, and I'm not talking about the gun show here, we have a very exciting final this weekend, this Sunday coming up, between PSG and Bayern Munich. And first of all, let me just say to everyone who tuned in to my preview videos, I really, really appreciate it. It means a lot. You know, trying to grow a small channel is hard, but with everybody's support, it really, really means a lot. So I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. So what am I going to do? Continue to deliver great content to you starting right now. Brethren, PSG, I thought it was pretty rigged for them from the get-go.
Yeah.
As soon as that draw happened, they had the way easier side of the bracket. And Bayern played like they had the easier side of the bracket, right? Like Bayern thrashed everybody like it was easy for them.
We saw a new Atalanta PSG would have been an exciting game because Atalanta have just been smashing in goals for fun. But, you know, it was kind of an exciting game in how it ended, but not as nearly as high scoring as we thought it would be. However, I think this one might be a little bit high scoring compared to last year's final, which was the most boring final I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Just over in the first minute. This is going to be different. Yeah.
Yeah, and it feels like it was, even when you said last year's final, like, doesn't it feel like that was like 10
years ago? Yep.
Right? Like, this season has been going on forever. I saw some things that said, you know, UEFA, like commentators were saying throughout the game, UEFA might consider this because of how exciting the broadcasts have been and the games have been. Maybe single elimination from this point in the tournament on is a good move. That's not possible, right?
No, absolutely not. I would not be, I would not agree to that. Maybe in the Europa League, that's something you can get away with because there are more games in the Europa League than in the Champions League anyway. But with the Champions League, I think keep it to the 2-game format. That's, I think, much better, and it provides better stories. Yes, you can have, in one-off games, anything can happen, and you're more likely to go through if you're the underdog, as we've seen with knockout competitions like the World Cup or something like that. But I think with the Champions League, just keep it for 2 games. Yeah,
and what people forget, and especially like for a commentator to say that, I'm like, hey, do you forget why there's 2 legs?
Exactly.
There's just 2 teams, bro. We got to play home for each team, right? That's the whole system. So unless you want to have the entire tournament as of, the quarterfinal at a neutral venue where teams would lose a lot of money, right? The whole reason, let's not forget why we're doing this in Lisbon is because that's the only place where they're going to let it happen.
Exactly.
Where it's like, all right, all the teams from all the countries can be here.
Teams can't afford to give you that revenue away, right?
Right,
like
exactly.
You're bringing in, 50,000 in most stadiums fans, and you can't just give that away to a neutral ground.
And the final has to be a knockout, obviously, but it's at a neutral venue, so there's no problem there. But anyway, we'll get into this. I like to just straight up ask who you got for Sunday, but I think we're both pretty much in the same boat here, right?
It's tough to look past Bayern. What they did to Barcelona was unreal, but that, even putting that aside, it's tough to look past Bayern Munich.
Yeah, I like I said in my preview video, and by the way, 2 for 2 for predictions, but I mean, this one, it was ultimately class prevailed, right? For both of these sides to reach the final. It was just the better team that went through. And it had to be, right? It was always going to be that. And I would imagine Sunday is going to be more of the same, where the better team goes through, and that team is Bayern Munich. Like I said, nobody is touching Bayern Munich. They're damn near unstoppable at the moment.
Could be going for a second treble right now, That's first one in 2013 and now this one.
Yeah.
It could be really exciting. But again, with PSG, though, as I'm sure we'll touch up on this later, they have the strengths to match what Bayern lack, and they have that more than anyone else in the world right now.
Yeah, it's hard to pick a weakness for Bayern Munich because no one's been able to exploit it. And if Lyon had been a little more clinical, they may have been able to. But one thing that has to be said is Bayern Munich keep a very, very high line. And the reason it feels like they're suffocating you is because all of their team is inside your area.
Yep.
Right? So you're like, where can we put the ball?
Very similar to what we've seen City do in the Premier League, where teams want to sit back and they know exactly what they have to do against you, but they just can't do it because they've just been bombarded by like ball after ball, and when they can't get the ball out of their feet, can't string 2 passes together. It's just hell.
The difference is Bayern play the direct footy that I crave City to play, right? Like where it's like, and they can offer you something different, right? They have so much to go for all the time.
Absolutely.
And whether it's somebody cutting in or somebody just driving straight or the link ups through the middle. But I do want to say this about PSG because PSG are a pretty lethal team, right? in their own respect. I mean, you're talking about a goal-scoring team who will probably be more than happy to sit back and try to counterattack. Because even if that wasn't Bayern's strategy, if Bayern weren't pressing so high, PSG would probably still try to do that.
Right. And PSG have the quality to sit back. They've got a good enough back four to do that, but they also have the centre defensive midfielders to back that up. They've got Verratti, Marquinhos, Herrera, Idrissa Gana Gueye. They've got a plethora or a handful of selection of CDMs to kind of screen the back four and try to help them do that. And with Neymar and Mbappe up front, you can't rule them out as easily as you can with other teams.
Well, that's just it. And and PSG could actually play a style here where they could have their back four sit.
Right.
And their two CDMs sit to absorb some of this pressure and then set the freaking front four free.
Yeah.
Right?
And they'll have the space to do that.
They're going to have... Listen, if Kylian Mbappe gets in behind, there are few players on planet Earth who can stop him, but there's one guy who might be able to catch up to him.
Right.
Mr. Canada, Captain Canada himself.
First Canadian in the Champions League final ever.
Yeah. And he's a stud.
Incredible.
And he's going to lift it on Sunday. Right, because Bayern are just that good. But PSG should be given more of a credit here. If we're doing thorough analysis, we have to say the spot where PSG could exploit Bayern will be in transition because of how high Bayern press. If it's a foot race, listen, Di Maria and Neymar live for open space, and Mbappe would love to run free. And that's what he's going to have the opportunity to do, especially if he plays off the left. Right?
Absolutely.
That seems like the path of least resistance, because why would you go up against Davies if you don't have to?
Yeah.
Right? The way Bayern play has Alphonso Davies essentially playing a left wing and a left back.
Right.
And so if Bayern are going to attack down that side and Mbappe just sits right where Mbappe would be if he was playing left back, but he's all the way up in the opposing box, PSG could tear them apart, and that would be shocking to see. You imagine if PSG go up like 4-0 at half?
Just almost force them to bring back the defensive line, just because you can't look over your shoulder and see Mbappe and just be like, okay, no worries, I'll just give him the space. You physically have to move just to try and close them down, and that opens up space for people like Neymar and Di Maria to just play through the lines, and with people behind them like Draxler, I think it would be good to see. I mean, it would be quite an entertaining thing because, as I've said, it's much harder to dismiss PSG in this game because they have the characteristics to go up against this Bayern team.
Exactly. Like, they match up poorly. It's almost like, because we do a lot of MMA discussions on this channel too, when a striker goes up against a wrestler and you think, oh, it's a bad matchup for both of them, depending on who has the advantage. If with how high PSG press and how high Bayern press and how clinical and ruthless they can be, that could really hurt PSG. But if PSG are able to absorb some of that pressure and just boot it upfield and set Mbappe and Neymar and them free, those guys are going to have a field day. They're going to feast. Are you kidding? Like, Lyon missed 3 big chances against Bayern.
Yep.
I don't think, and Neymar has missed quite a few sitters in the past few games, which is uncharacteristic. If he finds his feet in the final and he's free like that, PSG could very well tear Bayern apart.
You have to understand, Neymar hasn't played in a Champions League final since, I think, 2015.
Yeah, since
right?
Barca,
So, and he's missed out over the last 3 years in the quarterfinals because, 1, he's been injured, and 2, his team has balled it every single year. So he's going to be really excited and wanting to play really well in the final because it's another chance of winning it and just shut up everyone who's said, oh, he's ruined his career because he went to PSG, right? He's been living with that for a while now, and this is his chance to just put that to bed and say, I brought the Champions League to a city that had never won it, and to a team that everyone said, I'm just going to ruin my career there.
And not to mention, I paid off the project.
Exactly.
Right? I was purchased for this, and I did it.
Yep.
And not to mention, Mbappe will have completed football, right? Like, that's it.
Absolutely.
You win.
Just
You're
retire.
21, and
retire.
You got every... Yeah.
World Cup, Champions League, leagues.
Congrats, bro. You did it. So I'll ask you this, and we'll wrap up on this. Score predictions.
I think it'll be 4-2 Bayern Munich. I think it'll be an open game.
I like that a lot.
I'm going bold. I want
that's a thrilling
both teams.
Game. Yeah,
I want both teams to just go on the front foot and just go, you know what? Screw it. Let me just go. Absolutely. So I'm going to go 4-2.
I think you're a little bit more optimistic than me. I'll probably go 3-1 Bayern.
I wanted to say 3-1, and I thought I'd
but
make
you know what?
I
I commend you for your 4-2 because that's a great prediction. And if that that would be such an awesome game. I hope we can speak it into reality. But more so than that, I hope that Alphonso Davies can be a Canadian to lift the Champions League, man.
The Champions League.
That'd be incredible.
I mean, we've had Owen Hargreaves lift it before, but he decided to be English.
Yeah, listen,
instead.
he's from Hamilton. Don't ever forget it. All right. one of two jerseys will be up on this wall. It'll either be an Alphonso Davies Bayern kit, or Neymar or Mbappe. I haven't decided yet who's going to go on the wall.
Yeah.
It might even be Thiago Silva.
Triple moting, the man who put them in the final. Have some respect, brethren.
For your favorites, I'll put Di Maria on the wall.
I want to swear, but I won't.
All right, well, that's going to do it for us today. Who do you guys got? Champions League final this Sunday. Who do you guys think? Are PSG slept on, or are they going to tear Bayern a new one?
Let us know, man. Get involved.
Yeah, get involved. We can't wait to hear your takes. We hope you enjoyed ours, and we'll see you guys in the next